Hello, and welcome back for another episode of Monolock music, Sandakan music, and Sharon Graziani. And today I was deciding to leave for a moment the technical part of things and to go more into the direction of inspiration. And I think that before you are even becoming this professional identity or personality, that you know that everything is important about how things sounds like and what to do and how to do and how to fix the EQ and how to fix the compression and how to put the sound in the right way and which sounds to choose and all of this. There is something that is even more important than this, at least in the beginning, but I think that also later on, because with the years when you make music, or you get more inspiration or you get less inspiration, and also sometimes when you start something you can be stuck and then what to do to release from it. I will tell you what I think and how I see things. Basically, almost every music that I make, every tune, every track, every piece of music that I make comes from an idea, which means, okay, sometimes I open a Cubase project or other program project and start to lay out kick, bass, and get my inspiration from the rhythm or from the bass line or from the groove, and then I see how it goes. But most of the time I will start actually with the concept, and the concept could be anything. Could be something that I pass through, like something that I went through or something that happened to me in this week, in this year, in this lifetime, and be inspired from that and try to translate it from situation and feeling and way of thinking into something that is music, basically how to bring the idea or the feelings into music, to one way. Another way, it's, there is a lot of things happening around us, and many times we see TV shows or we see movies or we go to concerts and there is something that catches us or stay with us and go with us. And in this situation, you can also be inspired by other artists. You take it as something bigger. And for me, one of the things that inspired me the most are lectures or documentaries or things that happen to us every day and influence us every day, like environment, like situations that, like, let's say astrology, let's say physics, let's say, all these things that are kind of an enigma, or they are kind of things that operate around us, the nature, of course, things that operate around us and influence us on the daily basis, and most of us don't even think about it. A lot of this, if you will listen to my music, to my tracks, a lot of this come into play in my music. I try every track that I make, especially in the psytrance project Monolock, is to bring some kind of a story. I'm talking about like in a concept, as I said, or something that I want to say, or something that I want to bring forward. But also the story is a storyline in the track, which means that it will have certain kind of start, middle, and end. And it's really important to do that. Okay, it also depends on the genres. I'm doing also 2 other projects like Sandakan. Sandakan is a little bit more into the techno vibe, or somewhere over there between melodic techno, maybe to progressive house. I call it psytech because this is the vision that I have, that it's a little bit psychedelic, less club music maybe. And over there I worked with an amazing producer named Diamanti, and we also succeeded to bring a storytelling that actually happened in a techno track. Like, not every techno style of music or these genres bringing a story. Most of them, or they bring some kind of singing into it, some kind of how you call it? Some kind of what I'm trying to say is basically that they try to feed you with something really specific. You don't need to think, you don't need to correct me if I'm wrong, write in the comments down below. But this is my feeling, that a lot of music today, it's kind of, okay, don't think, you have the beat, you have the bass, and that's it. For me, it's not enough. Like, I like that music speaks to you and have some kind of an agenda, especially when it comes to psytrance, when people are listening. And the idea, again, for me, behind psytrance, it's that the crowd or the people are a tribe. Okay, it's not 100% like this, and maybe with the years things change, but listen, the idea of psytrance started as tribal music, as tribal gathering, as let's go together to celebrate nature, in nature, with these really weird sounds and atmosphere. And let's say that in the 90s there was a lot of use with electronic sounds and synthesis and everything, but also a lot of tracks that are, for me, are memorable from childhood. It had a lot of elements from nature. If it's background sounds of some kind of nature, or some kind of animals, or some kind of tribal. And you see like amazing producers today, like Astrix, for example, that brings it also in the production today. Like, he brought it also in the past, but he also managed to put it together as a story, as an atmosphere, as something. Now, I will come a little bit with criticism, because I deal with a lot of artists, and also young artists, that I am becoming part of their production, or coming part of their journey, if it's sound-wise, mixing, mastering, or just, they send me stuff, I listen, and we discuss about it. And my issue is that a lot of the cases is that people are taking just some kind of, sample pack. They say, okay, this is a cool kick, this is a cool bass, percussion and stuff, there is already loops, we just put them. And then, this guy was doing this, so here I supposed to have that sound coming, or this style of sound, or this kind of this. And basically people work in the end of the day out of templates. And if you go, again, this is my own perspective, and if you go to a party, at least before the situation that we are in today, you would be in a party for 12 hours, and let's say that around 10 hours, or maybe less, it will be sounding like the same track over and over and over again. The same kick, the same bass, the same style, the same, like you even to know what to expect, and where the break will come, and to count till 4. okay, this is also part of the genre. But still, like for me, as I remember, inspiration-wise, the Goa music, the old one, although it doesn't sound as good today as it used to be in the past, but it had something additional. It had something with a lot of emotions. Like talk about Astral production, or talk about other big California Sunshine, or Extreme, or I don't know, many other artists out there that are relevant till today. Only because they had something in their music, and also the ones that produce also music today, they have something in their music that it's not momentarily. It's not okay, now it's a cool track, it will work this summer, it will bang all the platform, the parties or whatever, and then nobody will remember it. This is why, for example, guys like Vini Vici, ex-Sesto Cento, or still Sexto Cento are successful. They bring something new to the table. They bring a concept, they bring an idea, and they top it also with the amazing technique, amazing knowledge, and the pristine production, like other producers, like Perfect Stranger, for example. He brought a new style totally into psytrance, and he was accepted with the open hands. Why? Because he was doing something different. He was bringing his own interpretation for a situation. I don't speak in the names of the other artists, but this is the way I perceive it. And there is others that also today bring their own perspective and their own style into, and they are successful. Because Loud, for example, also they invented their own vibe of psytrance, trance music. So this is inspirational. This is something that you can look up to and to say, okay, this is where I want to get my inspiration from. And I don't know, like there is a place for everything in the end. Like you can do a Lego, I will call it like this, Lego music, that you go take parts from sample packs and you mix and match, and you will have an amazing track that most probably will sound also okay. Because everything is already ready, the kick is like a full bang, sounds the best, the bass is already processed, and the leads and everything is already processed. It will sound most probably okay, but you will be one of million. And being one of million, if you have the right connection, maybe you will be successful, but I'm not sure that it's the right way to go. Again, it depends on you. I'm just saying my 2 cents, how I see things. Now, for me, inspiration, it's also, from artists from the same genre, but I tried at least in all my development, actually not to listen, or less listen, because you have friends, that they always send you tracks and they want your opinion, and you share, so you are listening for the same, from the music from the same genre. But I was trying not to listen to the latest trends in the genres that I was making, if it's psytrance, if it's techno or others, because I didn't want to be so much influenced from it. I wanted to bring something of my own. So I was, okay, yes, as I said, I also part of a community, so I had listened to others people's music and got also knowledge of the biggest success tracks in this genre or other, and I also play in parties, so yeah, you are exposed to this music. But in general, I was trying to listen to a different kind of music. Like for me, I was raised with a lot of classic music, so I love to listen for concert. Not even the conventional ones, like something that I like really much to listen to. It's Mozart in Egypt. They basically took pieces of Mozart music that are very famous, are very known, and they were interpreting it in Arab music, like in Egyptian style music and in Egyptian style singing. And they brought in also German opera, and it's something to listen to and not even to believe. Like, this is crazy, guys. They took something that is so traditional and so specific, and they pull it out of its place, and they made something that for me, every time that I listen to it, it's like goosebumps, really. And other things like this, it can be an opera, it can be some kind of I don't know, let's say a concert or infected mushroom, for example. Like, they do crazy stuff. Okay, I don't like everything that they do, but and it's a matter of taste, but yet they bring every time something new to the plate. They are not template guys, they are creators. So something like Converted Vegetarian 1 and 2, something to listen and to be, wow, like, this guy's things out of the concept. And again, as I said, there is place for everybody, but if you want to be a music producer, or if you want to make music for fun, it's cool, and if you succeed, it's okay. But if you want to get to a place that you are respectable, at least for yourself, so try to be a little bit more creative, I guess. And being creative, it doesn't mean that you need to invent the wheel, but try to, even in something simple, let's say you go into Splice, okay? That Splice is one of the platforms that helps to create. It brings you a lot of idea, most probably, and you can use it to be inspired, but you don't have to use it as a copy-paste base. Like, you don't suppose or should take how you say, loops, and just to shove them as a Lego, as they call it, a Lego. So you can take ideas like vocals, like whatever it's fitting. Like, for example, if I will want to make a track that it's a Turkish in vibe, so I will search stuff. First of all, I will make some kind of research of what does it mean in Turkish style, what kind of melodic structure they have, what kind of instrument they use. And even if I cannot find in Splice or in Loop Cloud or other places what I want, so I will try to find a synthesis that it will be the most closest to what I'm looking for. Even not in the instrument itself. Let's say that I will want to make a Turkish style track, or with inspired by, and instead of finding some kind of a string instrument that it's Turkish and it's in the right vibe, I can bring something that it's Chinese, okay? Because the Chinese also have some kind of these string instruments that they play on, and maybe I will play on a specific Chinese instrument, but with the melodies or the vibe of Turkish. So you create some kind of merging between worlds, and you think behind what you do. It's not only, okay, copy paste, I take I take this, boom. I take this one, boom. Okay, now in minute 1:30, it's supposed to be like this. On 1 minute, we're supposed to have that. Yeah, I understand. Every genre have a structure. People are expecting the crowd, or people are expecting certain things. It's totally okay to have some kind of structure in your head. I also, as a DJ and a producer, I know that if I do in this moment in the track something specific, it will work or wouldn't work. And I also work accordingly, because in the moment that you start to work in front of the crowd, you know what they want or what they expect. So you take it in consideration, but try to stay relevant and interesting. So again, if you are using tools like Splice, you have so much options. You can take samples from trap music, or from, I don't know, endless genres that you have here, cinematic, techno, reggaeton, soul, or whatever, and you can mix it and blend it and take the drum of one loop, okay, and to use it to make a percussion, or to make an impact, or to make... Again, don't use simple loop or something as it is. Even if you are using something as it is, so make your own process on it, change it. It's another thing that it's kind of important to say about Splice and Loop Cloud, that it's a platform that a lot of people use it, which means that if I take now a sample, whatever it is, most probably there will be another thousands of people that will use it, okay? And which means with the today algorithm, YouTube and SoundCloud and Spotify and many others, Facebook actually, and maybe also Instagram, because they work in the same way. So let's say that I take now a sample from Loop Cloud or Splice, I implemented it into my track, and let's say that I took many of these samples. I didn't change much, or I didn't change anything, I just put it there and let it roll in the track. The situation that it will be then when you will upload it, so the copyright will tell you, hey, this track that you were making, the original one, you have copyright on it because somebody else was making it or using this sample as it is, and he was the first. So meaning that it's not yours, because there is already somebody else that used it as it is, and he was writing his copyrights on it, and the algorithm recognize it, and that's it. And your track is basically wherever you will put it, you wouldn't have rights on it. So, okay, I don't know if you care about it, but when you start to take things in the more professional place, it's important, because you want that your own piece will be your own, and not your own piece will be somebody else piece, because it can piss you off. So think about it, like make it yours. I think that I also were talking about it in another episode, that make things yours. Chop it, cut it, put effects on it, put it in the back of the track, in the front of the track, whatever you use it smartly and make it your own. Now, another good tool for getting inspired and enjoying, we said we have Splice, we have Loop Cloud. Now, I don't bring all the examples, but a good one is YouTube. Come on, like endless hours and videos, and I know a lot of a lot of artists that love to work when they have something in their background, like if they have an extra screen or monitor, so they will put how you say, they will put a party in the background, and they will watch it and get inspired by the people that are dancing with him. He's making the track. It's a nice way to get inspired, but also in another way, getting inspired can be watching TED Talks, and to have this idea of something like, I have a track of mine that it was inspired by behavior, how people behave to one another, and that people should be kind to one another, and it was inspired out of this, like out of a subject that was close to my heart, and I wanted to say it out loud through music. So if you listen to the track, I don't know, not everybody is like, okay, listening to what the track is saying, if it's not a catchphrase or something, but for me it's important. Beside this, subject that I was really into, and it was a really big part of a period in my music creation, it was the Sumerians. I know that it sounds funny, but I guess that also other people are interested in the Egyptians, in the history. So for me, beside the Egyptians and the, how you call it, the pyramids and the aliens and stuff, there was this period of the Sumerian that is also really interesting. Like they talk about the origin of man, and you can be inspired from a lot of things. Like there was a period that I was watching this the planet Nibiru, Planet X, that they say that there is a planet over there that we don't see it. It's bigger than Earth, and it's coming every X years, coming close, and it's coming far. I know that it sounds a little bit weird, but these things open your mind. Or even physics, simple physics, like black holes. You know, this subject that even if you are even if you are not interested in, opening your mind into thinking about stuff. Also, think about creating sound, specific sound that describe this planet Nibiru, how it would sound. Okay, and this is my approach to things. Like the Sumerian period, how it would sound like if I would be now in the street in the Sumerian period, what type of tools I will find. Maybe chants, maybe like I have tracks that I was making that I was looking for specific chant, you know, like some kind of singing ritual, and I didn't find it. Like I was looking online, or people were using it already. Also, you know, in places like Splice, Loopcloud. I was looking also, you know, in other sources. I didn't find what I wanted. So why not to use your own vocal? Like, even if I'm not a singer, I'm far from singing. You can also see it in the chapter up above the the one that I was talking about. What we were creating with my friends. I'm singing over there. I'm not a singer, but I can use my vocal, my voice, with today's tools and manipulate it to be a synthesizer, to be actually a vocal, with processing it in a way that you make it a little bit, you know, different, and to fix the pitch and your stonating and whatever it is. And yeah, and to take it and to make it your own. So think about it like this. Try to take a concept and to start to make a track out of it. Doesn't matter what is the genre. Okay, if you are doing a pop song, the subject will be most probably the lyrics, and the atmosphere will be most probably what the lyrics are. But in electronic music, beside good kick and good bass, okay, well, bring some kind of content into it, say something. I think that good example for us can be like people that I'm talking about, people that like psytrance music. That this is one of the things that motivate me since childhood to be a DJ and to make music. It's I think about it like this: that back in time, you had this these beautiful ideas that you can actually listen. Like, I don't know if young people today or people that didn't experience the 90s as young adults, or even the middle of the 2000, okay? This music, it's the basic of psytrance. It's what brought us to be whatever we are today. You can hear that producer that works for many years, that have more than 20 years under their belt, they are creating, and they are the leading also artists, that they bring something back from the past. And again, I think it's really, really important that you will be connected like to the beginning of the genre. Also in techno music, look today that there is a lot of techno sound and music, that if you take this one, that what the people today are producing, and you listen to the beginning of the 90s, late 80s, and maybe the development that came after, there is not much difference. Like the people that are inspired today to make music, they are inspired from the music that came 20 years ago. Also in the pop world, also in other genres. But they bring the interpretation of today, sounds of today, like a techno track that was played in the 90s in clubs would sound horrible comparing to today's track with the right kick, the right bass. Think about it, also technology was changing with time. And with the changing in time was bringing new options how to make the kick, the bass. I remember that when we were going to parties back then, there wasn't bass as much as today, which means the technology, the speakers, the amplifiers, or whatever it was, it wasn't playing to 30 hertz. It wasn't there. Like today, a kick, it's something that it's punching in your stomach. Back then, it wasn't like this. It wasn't even about the kick. If we are again talking about the electronic music, it was about the content. And if you will listen to old music, Goa music, also techno, but let's concentrate on psytrance or Goa, the main thing wasn't the bass drum. Okay, it was there to move your legs. It was there to make you like a ritual, you know. It's really tribal, and the concept is whatever come above it. The melodies, the atmosphere, the things that comes and go, the animals, the synthesis a lot of time. So it's something that you need to think about it also as a producer today. Like bring something to the table that or never been done or done before, but bring it to your own interpretation. it's important. It's important in many ways. Like let's see in my playlist what I have over here. A really simple situation. I have this track that I was making a few years ago. The idea behind it's a haka. Basically, they are Aborigine music, tribal music, war music. And you can see that also the idea behind the cover was the culture, also the name of it. So you can hear like, okay, it's a traditional psytrance music. Tribally, really tribally. You take the idea and you build around it. You can listen to all this music in my playlist, Monolock music, psytrance, online. You can find it also on Spotify. But I want to show you the concept of my music. Like this specific track, it's called Reprogram Your Brain. It's simple as that. The idea behind it, it's basically that we are programmed by television, programmed by news, programmed by the environment. We are kind of fed this type of ideas that not all the time are right, and it's a small call to reprogram your brain. So classic trance, psytrance music. Also the idea behind it, it's kind of a repetitive thing that in a way, in this track, the reprogram your brain is trying to brainwash you in a way that, as the concept say, that you are brainwashed. So again, it's not things that maybe cross through, but this is the initial idea and this is where everything comes from. So the idea is to make some kind of hypnotic or hypnotizing track. Also with the sounds, also with the vocals. Now, if you listen carefully, it sounds like reprogram your brain, but it's also in the same time, it sounds like we programmed your brain, and this is another game that I have inside. And the vocal becomes sounding a little bit like a program. Another one that I have concept behind it, it's I think mostly it's because of the vocals and stuff, but it was like inspired by the Himalayas, the swinging Himalayas, or Himalayas or the Tibetan situation that was back then. It's a mix of stuff because I was watching most probably the commentary about the Tibetan and the Chinese. It was influenced from there. Swinging is because the track is swinging. It's the style of production. Another one, it's the same with the concept, Mong, Song of the Brave. Can understand what I mean. It have a feeling, it have an atmosphere. A track like Yakuza came out of a beautiful chant that I don't have a clue what it is, but it's beautiful. Because I was asking once somebody, and I know what the lyrics are, and he couldn't tell me. But listen to the sounds in the background. It's all talking atmosphere of this. And for example, the last release of 2021 was a beautiful remix compilation or album with a few friends of mine that were releasing with me for an older track that I was making called Alien Talk. Again, there is a concept behind it. And this is exactly like I took the original one and I was making a cinematic remix to it. That it's a little bit more atmospheric and with no kick and bass or nothing that push it, but it's still psychedelic. This is the intro for the album.
naturally expect that other stars have planets also. And they do. In the last 20 years or so, astronomers have found thousands of planets and exoplanets and exoplanet candidates. We've also found the statement to be true that every...
So, as you understand...
We've also found the statement to be true that every...
As you understand, inspiration you can take from all around you. I actually go in the streets, especially for techno music. I go in the street and I listen to this, people walking in the street or this construction site, and you have all these sounds coming and all these interesting elements that you can be inspired from. And if you are not sure, you can always take. You have days like I remember when we were children or young, and we were doing this music, and we used to have to find a way to record our situation. So a few of us had mini discs, if you know what it is. So we had this mini disc that it was the first tool that was available beside these tape recorders, that we could digitally record stuff and go with it back to the computer. Because it was digitally, it was a little bit easier to pass it through to a computer. Because again, my generation was already doing music out of a computer. And today you have your phone with you. You can take this little tool over here and press record and record all your ideas. Like I so many times Infected Mushrooms is talking about it. Take this simple device that is with you all day and or write as a note or tell to yourself or sing or say your concept, or even if you are in a club and you hear something, or you are somewhere and you hear some kind of tune that inspired you and gives you an idea. If you are out in a party and you drink a little bit and you have fun and something inspired you, put your phone up and record. Don't use Shazam. Just record the part that you like or interest you and come back to after a day or 2 or 5 or a year when you check your phone and you see, I was writing this stuff. Like I have this song over here that was in my brain, I think, for a few years. And all the vocals, it's not my vocal, but most of the vocals here are mine. This is me, out of control. And I'm not a singer, again. And this came out of a game. I was recording these words on my phone. I'm not also a big lyric writer. But you understand, the concept is, again, I'm out of control. It was a period, most probably, that I had some things that it's not figured out. Somewhere the 2020, October 2020, I took it out. So it's it's somewhere around the beginning of COVID, something. It was really a period. If now I look at the dates, it was a period of chaos in my life, and out of control. Like this is my way to say out of control. So again, this is what I'm trying to get into you. Oh, this is also, this is the most idiotic track ever. Why? Because I don't know if I was back then in Italy or not. I'm Italian also. And one of the things that I like is that when I go to Italy is to eat fritto misto. That fritto misto is basically fried mix. And this song is kind of a mix of things. It was a period that I was experimenting a lot with sound, experimenting a lot with trying to be more commercial with my music, and it's like a mix, a fried mix of stuff. And most probably I was hungry back time in this time or something, and you know, and I came with this concept that it was kind of funny. A lot of inspiration I also get from gigs that I play, with the reaction of the people. I also check a lot of materials. When I'm playing in events. So it's always cool. For example, this track that is really, really dear to me. It's a track that I was writing 3 years, I think, two years after my beloved 18 years old dog was leaving us for a better world. And all the idea behind it was my connection with my dog. So for me, it's really, really special. So you hear all the wolves, let's say, because it's not all dogs, right? And it's the emotions and the relationship between me and him. Maybe it sounds weird, but this is what comes out of this track. Also the sound, also the atmosphere. It's all about this. And I don't know if you can hear in the background the shaker in this track specifically. It's a dog breathing, and there is a lot of elements that I know that they are there, the listener not necessarily. I try to find Anyway, you can listen to this music and many more tracks that I have online. I have a lot, almost 10 years of music with this project, with other projects most probably more. And yeah, like, guys, be inspired. Think about concept or things that you can do. Sound is really important, but sound develop with time. Sound signature or ability to play with sound. But also when I started to make music, listening to it today, it's horrible and harsh even to listen to. But there was something there, so virgin and so nice, of concepts, of idea, of melodies and stuff, that today many times I'm inspired not from the horrible production and the sound and the kick that doesn't sit in place and this. There is a place to be obsessed also with this when you want to produce and to be commercial. But the concept, the idea, bring something to the table that it's not like everybody else. Own it, make it yours. Anyway, I didn't say it all this episode, but thank you very much for supporting us. I get a lot of messages from you guys, if on YouTube or Facebook or other platforms, with questions or with comments, and we are happy to get all of them. Please continue to write for us with your opinions and your ideas, or if you have anything that you have question about and you want to go deeper into it with psytrance music, progressive house music, and let's say techno, or my other projects. If you want me to make some kind of an introduction to my other projects, what I'm doing, maybe to make some kind of a follow-up of my production in any style of it, just let me know, write me down below. I will be happy to do something like this. Beside that, every episode that we put underneath, we have in the comments, not comment section, but the description, there is a link to two places that I'm affiliating with it, that you can find the equipment that we use in the studio. You can check it and buy it from there to our link. Will be helping us a lot to push a little bit the channel up. And of course, subscribe, share, and feel free, of course, to like, press the like button. And that's it for today. Most probably we will try now to make most of the episode on Saturday night, that it will be more available for more people that during the week are working. And that's it, guys. I hope that this chapter today was inspiring, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.